What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. This is episode 329. Wow, that's amazing. This week, guys, got something a little different. Well, I don't know if it's a little different. We do interviews all the time, but this week, my good friend B-Rob from Random Ramblings with Rob podcast, or the 3RShow, he decided to join me this week, talk a little bit about him, his life, getting into podcasting and some really cool stuff, and just chatting. You know, we haven't talked since the last time we all got together, which I think was, oh man, it had to have been last year. So it was good to sit back and just listen to Rob talk, and it's good catching up and seeing how things are doing. And so I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy the podcast. Maybe it will encourage y'all to check out his show, which you should. He's a really cool dude, interviews a lot of awesome people, and I just love the way he talks to people. I love the way he interviews people, and it's just awesome. So listen to my shitty interview. He does awesome. I'm just along for the ride, guys. But take a listen, have some fun, and go check out the 3RShow. Have you used Zencastr before?
I have been a part of it, but I have not personally used it, no.
Oh, okay. I just started. I forgot. I think Liz was the one who told me about it. And so I started using it.
Yeah, that's why I heard about it from. But I think I was a guest on one of the guys that I know, somebody else, and they used Zencastr last time we did it.
I like it because it's easy to set up, easy to have a guest come on, and then it gives me two separate audio files, which I really like. But what I don't like is that to, I guess, render it and get like your side of the audio file, it takes a goddamn week. It feels like it takes forever, man. And last time I was doing this, I was talking to a guy, and I was waiting for his audio to process. And so I'm, going about the house, doing chores and whatnot. And then all of a sudden the power goes out.
You got served. Luckily,
Zencastr keeps all the files on their own server. So I got lucky, but so that's one thing I like. I hate having to wait for an audio file. I think that's what I like about, I use, Skype recorder, MP3 Skype recorder.
Yes.
And that one gives me instant audio right then, right there. And I like that.
Well, I mean, Skype itself does that now, to where it'll record the video conversation, or you can have it specifically just for audio.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's built in now.
So why am I doing all this extra crap?
I know. Skype recorder was there because Skype didn't have that natively, but after a couple of updates, they have that now.
I wonder if it's because Skype bought or is owned by Microsoft, because they used to have, what was it, Links, or I don't remember what it's called, but now it's been rebranded as Skype for Business, which it had that ability to record and all that. So I wonder if that's what happened.
Amazing. Oh, they got tired of people using third-party shit on their shit and not getting paid for it.
It's free anyway, though, right?
Yeah, but still, I mean, you got the select few that
upgrade.
Yeah, that upgrade, like myself. I pay like $6 a month.
God. But what does it let you do, though?
Well, I can call anybody. It's like having my own phone number. And I pay for the phone number as well, so like people can call me
like through Skype.
Yeah, and they like is a telephone number directly to my Skype.
Oh my
God. If I'm doing a recording or whatever, somebody can just, if they don't have Skype, they can just call on their phone, pretty much.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, and this shit ain't nothing but like $6, so I was like, screw it.
Hell yeah, it's cheaper than my phone plan, brother.
That's cheaper than anybody's phone plan.
You just got to buy the phone.
Yeah, shit, and that's becoming a damn chore. Phones is like $1,200 now.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude. So my wife, she has the Pro Max iPhone.
Oh, I know. I was there for that conversation.
Oh yeah, we did have this car. Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, I'm still hot about it. No. Oh man, it's great. I record and I can look out my window and I'm just looking at my neighbors across the street. which
Out
you
there
can tell
touching
they've
their
never heard of the
face.
word. Do what?
I said they out there touching their goddamn face.
They are, and like they've never heard of the word social or distancing.
Yeah. Well,
Like they've been having people come over. Like it's just I watch them like that little creep neighbor, and I just keep judging them.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a rebel. I go out into the wilds for my family and whatnot. So I've been seeing a lot of non-social distancing myself.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, I'm in that situation. I'm the designated risk taker.
Yes.
So I'm the one who has to go out shopping and stuff like that. And I'm considered an essential worker. So I still have to go out for that. And so like, I try to I always feel like I'm being a jerk, but I'm trying to protect my family to be like, if someone comes up to talk to me, I make sure to stop them. Like, stay right there. Talk to me from there.
I do that, especially where I work at. So like people come in to report illegals, and as soon as I open the door, because we lock the building so nobody can come in right now. But if
Nice.
so I'll pop the door open and be like, yes, how can we serve you? And they start coming up to me and start talking. I was like, whoa. I can hear you from me. And then it's extra added bonus for me because they speak in Spanish most of the time. So that's fun.
Do you speak Spanish?
Some. I speak Spanish in the context of my job. So I can find out what they there for because I deal with the same shit every day. So I know Spanish in that aspect of my job. But if you take me out into the wilds of Mexico or somewhere else where they heavily speak Spanish, I ain't gonna make it.
That's me though. And it's sadder for me because, I look like I should be fluent in it.
Yes, you of that ilk.
I know, man. But, I was never raised that way. Like I was always raised white. And like I was just brought up white. Like I don't know how else to say it. And so like I get that all the time. People come up to me and start talking Spanish. And I think the problem is I know just enough to like answer back in English because I can't speak it worth a damn. So like I guess that's their go ahead to like, oh, let's go to like Spanish level 5 and just keep going.
And my thing is when they come in there and they'll be like, ¿tú hablo español? I'd be like, sí, poquito español. Poquito. And they're like small, a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're just, like you said, level 5. I'm like, whoa.
Oh, no. I haven't unlocked this ability yet.
Yes, I have not got those level experience points.
I know. That's crazy. Well, it's kind of weird, man, like with quarantine going on, but like we're still out. We're still doing shit, which...
Yeah. It's like... I applaud some of these stores that are still open that trying to enforce. Well, they're not really enforcing, but they're making you aware of what's going on as far as their practices. They'll have like say a grocery store like Walmart or anything like that, because I've been going to Walmart. They have their customers out there in gloves and masks, and they're sanitizing the freaking baskets before you come in there. So that's one thing you have to not worry about. And across the store, they got the social distancing placards and everything. So if you're in line, they got 6 feet marked out for you to stand away from the next person. So that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because a lot of places, they're trying to do their best to stay open. Like H-E-B is the same way, like hand sanitizing the carts. They have like little squares on the ground to show you like stand here and wait. And like now at ours in my town, they have plexiglass surrounding the cashiers. It's like some crazy.
It's the same
bullet.
here now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's insane, man. It does kind of like it feels so normal until you see like these little things, and it kind of makes you turn your head like, oh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Is what was kind of upsetting me in the whole thing is that I saw that in other places that are not here. So like the plexiglass and all these other things and whatnot. So when in earlier stages, when I would go out, I wouldn't see any of this shit. So I was like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
It's a myth, man.
Yeah. But
coronavirus.
Yes, it's changed now. So
that's good. It's scary, especially like because you're up in like the Houston area, right?
Well, I'm in Spring, so I'm further up north. I'm out of Houston.
Yeah, but
Not, but not
I feel
completely. I mean, Houston is a planet, so I mean,
yeah, true. I don't know.
never
It's
been to
crazy.
a
Like,
place. I've never been to a place where I can drive an hour north, south, or if depending if I'm centralized east or west, and still be in the same place.
it's great, man. It's the best. So I mean, so your show because you do the 3R show, or it's always a tongue twister.
I know it.
Random rambling with
Design.
Rob. I
By
hate
design.
it. Just 3R show.
Exactly. That's why I've been branding it that way because people be like blah 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 blah.
So how's it been like during? Because you thrive on having guests.
It's
And-
kind of been a little bit easier because nobody's able to do shit. You know,
So like, hell yeah, I'll be a guest on your show. What else am I going to do this week?
I mean, I've even had a couple of people reach out to me. I was like, well, this is convenient.
That must be nice. No, I feel like the
I'm
panhandler of podcasting.
I'm always here for you. Don't worry about it. So if you need a guest and you don't have one, if I'm available, I'm there for you.
Be like, well, today no one wanted to talk to me, so it's Rob Day.
Yeah.
Have your own theme song.
Well, I kind of do. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Got new shows every Sunday.
Here we go.
There you go. Got my little drop in right there.
That's pretty tight. I'm kind of mad. Why do you have such cool shit?
I was almost concerned that you wouldn't have been able to hear it.
That was pretty cool. How did you play that just through a phone or?
No, I have I bought one of those Elgato Stream Decks, you know, with all the little programmable buttons and whatnot. So
Yeah,
my wife got me that for our anniversary, I think. And it's cool. I mean, it has so much functionality. You know, I can program like all kind of little sound drops into it, and it goes beyond that because you can have programmable key prompts in here. So like, I haven't figured out how to do it, but it's similar to that, to where I can press a button, you know, bring up my recording settings and have everything prepped and ready for me to just hit record. Or I can have the record button on the dial here. I can create folders and subfolders for other things and whatnot because it's 4, 8, 12 button interface. What, 3, 6, 9? No, it's 15. I'm lying. I can't count. 15 button interface. And you would think, oh, well, shit, I only got 15 buttons to program, but you can create subfolders in those buttons to have a whole nother 15 programmable buttons and shit.
holy crap, man!
So it can go forever.
I'm sitting here like imitating being a podcaster, and you're born in it, molded by it.
You merely was born.
So like what got you into podcasting, man?
I tried to do the main thing. I fucked it up.
Nah, you good.
Podcasting got me into podcasting, kind of. That's one of the many things that got me here. It's just I was on the tail end of my military career, and my wife is a writer. She wrote a book at I think somewhere around in that time frame when I was getting out, and I believe in her skills and her talents. And I was just like, hey, you should write a book about this. Hey, you should write a book about this. Cause I lacked that skill to write a book. So she just got annoyed with me and just like, well, why don't you do it? And I was like, well, fine, I'll do it. And I tried and it didn't work out. So what the book was going to be based on? Well, it's two different books, but what got me to the podcast is one of the book ideas that I had. I wanted to write about my military experience over 16 years worth of travels and the people that I served with. I wanted them to tell their stories too. And we just have like a collective all in a book and bam. But, you know, as I said, I tried to write this in another book and, you know, it just really wasn't working for me. I'm not that type of person to sit there in front of the keyboard and typey type and all this other bullshit. So I listened to podcasts and I enjoy them. And I was just like, well, why don't I just record it instead of me paraphrasing somebody else's story? That person can come and tell their story themselves, you know? Mm-hmm. And so that's how it started. I got a little USB microphone. I think it was Audio Technica or some shit like that. and I had an iPad mini at the time, and I downloaded a program called Boss Jock. I think it was like 10, $20, and it was just pretty much a recording app on my tablet. You know, I can record audio. I have the drop tracks in there. I can, you know, adjust the volume, all that shit. It was just pretty much a mixer on my tablet, and I would bring it to work. And when we had break time and everything, I would set it up and we just get to talking about shit. So like the first 20 or so episodes was me still in the military trying to figure out how to do a podcast. And then I separated from the military and I didn't have access to those people like I would normally do. You know, I can call them, you know, cause I mean, we have history. I've 16 years in the military. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can call up any one of them and have them on the show if I wanted to, but I know how that is because I lived that lifestyle for 16 years. And it's, you know, you work all day, then you daggone try to do stuff with your family, then you know, trying to manage and do all this other military bullshit. So, I mean, I understand. It's for me to be like, hey, stop fucking around and saving our country and doing all this other bullshit to come talk with me for a minute. You know, I was just like, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put down the foot somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's when I started reaching out to everybody, other podcasters, actors, freaking artists, musicians, whatever I could get my hands on. That's pretty much what I started reaching out to. And for me, it was kind of like a rediscovering of self, because for 16 years, I was the same person, just, you know, in the mindset of doing this job. And that was, you know, my role in the military. You know, I led troops. I was a troop. And daggone, you know, you used to, hey, motherfucker, go do what I say. And they'd be like, all right, Staff Sergeant, and then run off and go do what the fuck you say. But, you know, transitioning over into a civilian life to where you don't have that swing like you would in the military to be like, hey, go do this. And the motherfucker look at you sideways and you want to fight and shit. And you be like, wait a minute, we can't do this. This isn't how it works on the outside. And then, you know, there's a lot of frustrations too, because you have people that are so subservient, you know, being in the military, and then you come home to your family life and you having troubles with your kids and shit. You be like, hey, didn't I tell you go clean your room? And then you want to daggone get in their shit. But, you know, this is not a person that's in your ranks in the military or something. You can't talk to them the same way that you talk to somebody at work. So, I mean, you don't bring your work home and all this other yada, yada, yada. So and through talking to different people, you know, from all walks of life, you know, different freaking job fields and whatever, you know, I was getting different viewpoints and ideas from, you know, a vast array of people. And it was kind of breaking me out of that singular mindset that I had in the military. And it kind of opened me up creatively as well to be like, this is something that I would have never done in the military, but here I am, you know, doing it now. Oh, shit. Prime example. When I first got out, the day that I got out, I started taking pictures of myself for 1 full year. Every day I took a picture of myself for 365 days. And the reason I did that, because that was something that I never did. You know, I never put myself out there. And, you know, I was just trying to go through and figure out, like, well, if I'm not in the military, what am I? What is my purpose? You know?
But I mean, that's like a real thing, though, because I mean, and especially for 16 years, that's a big part of your life, a huge chunk of your life that you spent doing that, being a part of that, being a part of a family like that. You know, I've talked to a lot of guys in the military, and they hold those connections dearly 20, 30 years out. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is, man. It's just I miss it. But at the same time, I got out at the right time for me. You know, it's just like, it wasn't the same as it was when I first came in. I joined in 2000. So right before 9/11, pretty much. So the whole time that we were over there doing that shit, that was my whole career. And,
Jesus.
So yeah, man, it's just being in that mindset of always packing my shit up so I can deploy somewhere or going away to do training. You know, I never was home. And then that's hard because you have a wife, 2 kids, then you get divorced, and then you try to get custody of those 2 kids, and then you get custody of those 2 kids, but you're still having trouble with the ex-wife. And then damn, you freaking meet somebody else, and then you hesitant about introducing them to your kids. And then daggone, you finally introduce them to your kids, then that shit don't work out. Now the kids are without that person. And then you finally move on to meet someone else. And then you get married before they meet your kids. And then you got to introduce your kids. And then the kids love her. Then the kids fall out. Then we have another kid. And then, you know,
Damn.
the ups and downs. And then during that readjustment with the new kids and the new wife and the new baby, I'm deploying and I'm leaving and I'm not there. And, you know, it's a rough life military members lead.
Yeah. That sounded really rough.
Yeah, that was the abridged version. That was just the short synopsis.
Hit me with like a truth grenade right there. Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I have so much respect for you, so much respect for everyone who goes through that willingly and wants to be a part of that life. But I know there's good things from it. You know, I've seen the benefits that people get out of it. But man, I hear a lot of stories like what you just mentioned, like where some people either can't adapt to that life, like your family or outside people can't adapt to that lifestyle, and it can be really hard. You know. Yeah.
I consider myself a part of that fortunate few that would go through 16 years of that madness and for the most part come out unscathed on the other side, because just within you know, the latter half of 2019 leading into 2020, I've had people that I personally served with freaking off themselves, man. And then one was through no fault of his own. Somebody caught him in a dark alley and took him out. So
holy shit.
That's damn, you know,
that's crazy, man.
It is. It's freaking insane, man. It's just where, you know, you go through so much and then you know, and these people were separated from the military at that point. So it's just like they joined, you know, they've been through what they've been through in that environment. Then they get out and then they don't know what to do with themselves anymore. And they wind up doing shit like that. And it's fucking sad.
Yeah, it is sad, man. And like you mentioned it, like you are lucky. Like you see so many people that go through the military. Hell, some people do like just 2 years of it and they come out changed, man, like based on what they've seen or just how it's affected them. Like well, you could have been the Punisher. Like you could have come out and become the Punisher for all we know.
Just yelling for no reason at all.
Just running around Houston.
Oh, that would be some crazy Walmart logs, wouldn't it?
Oh my God! You just like the black Clint Eastwood, like Gran Torino.
You're like, hey punk, you're touching on my shopping cart or whatever. You start yelling.
I want to see these Walmart videos now. This is what I need.
I'd be like the Bat Dad or whatever, but the Punisher.
I need like the WWRW or something weird like that.
Well, it's just like, but throughout it though, I mean, it that experience did change me, but I managed, and I think that's probably one of the things, in my own opinion, that might have helped me through the whole thing. I retained, you know, myself and some of my personality, because when I say military, especially the Marine Corps, a lot of people are like, oh, they crazy, they eat babies, they kill people, and all kind of other crazy shit, right? That's what you associate with the Marine Corps, you know, for the basic civilian. Yeah. And what I did in my 16 years, and it just probably was a hindrance to my career as well, is that damn, I didn't want to daggone be that stereotype. I didn't want to be the mean mugging hardcore motherfucker or whatever. You know, it's just damn people being there. And since, especially in my latter years or whatever, when I had some rank on my shoulders or whatnot, and I had people under me, I would fuck with people daily just because.
Just because.
Just because I mean, it's such, especially for somebody just joining the military, they're like in their first year or whatever, and they get into a new unit. It's tense for them because they just been through boot camp. They've been through pretty much the worst of it. It's just damn people in your face yelling all the time. You under freaking academic probation. They testing you all the time on stuff and whatnot, and it can be very stressful. And to get to your first duty station, your first unit, is going to be kind of tense because, you know, now when you to your new unit, you are treated like an adult pretty much because you done been through all the bullshit. Now you're here to do a job, but they haven't adjusted at that yet. So they still, you know, standing at attention when they're addressing people, going to parade wrestling, you know, doing all the basic shit that military members are supposed to do. To when people that like me been in like 16 years and meeting up a new person, I'm just like, I'm in there just chilling like, yo, what's up, dog? Hey, what's going on? You know? But what I would do, get brand new people come in. They come to check in. They in their alphas. That's like they, I would call it a reporting uniform for people who are uninitiated to the military jargon. But anyway, they come in there, they checking in, they all paranoid, they're looking around, trying not to offend anybody. And I would come in there and I look them dead in the face and I'd be like, what the fuck is your problem? You know, real menacing, real mean. And you can see their face just like, oh, like they're about to spaz the hell out, like about to lose their goddamn mind. And before they can answer me or just like, you know, the fear and panic set in, I'd be like, man, I'm just fucking with you, dog. What's going on?
God. But see, like, that's what I would have loved, you know, like, especially after going, like, because that's all you ever hear. Boot camp is like hell, man. Like, that's like, and like what you said, it's the worst of it. Mm-hmm. And so then all of a sudden it's like this crazy breath of fresh air. But do you trust it? You know? Like,
yeah. I mean, because, you know, there's the people that are going to gradually ease into it. And there's some people that be like, well, fuck it. I'm away from that shit. I'm all willy-nilly now. And they get that reality check and they're like, oh, shit.
God, man.
Because, I mean, it's 3 stages, you know, for a basic Marine. You go through boot camp, then you come back. Unless you're infantry, you go to MCT, which is basic infantry training for non-infantry. So like if you a supply, administrative clerk or transportation, you know, that's the infantry school that you go to because it's just the basics of infantry. If you're an actual infantry person or in that infantry field, there's a whole different experience for you. It's a lot longer and it teaches you more because that's going to actually be your job pretty much. Mm-hmm. So, you know, once you get to MCT, you get a little bit more freedom than you did in boot camp. You know, you're actually able to go out to certain places. I mean, not like off the little campus, but there's places within the campus that you can go of your own free will when you have the time. In boot camp, you don't go nowhere without somebody with your permission. So, you know, they get a little small taste of freedom there. Now from MCT, you go to your MOS school. That's your job that you will be doing for the military. So mine was transportation. I went to transportation school in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, the armpit of the fucking Missouri. Just, and it's funny, no shit. True fact, look it up on the map. I call Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, the armpit of Missouri, and it's not too far from a place in Missouri called the Devil's Elbow. So the elbow, the armpit is not far from each other.
Stupid.
So, yeah, I went there. And there in Missouri, well, for me personally, you know, and it's probably like that for whatever other MOS, but there you get even more freedom than you got in MCT. There you actually have time off. So you'll go to classes and training Monday through Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, you off. And you can go wherever you want, pretty much within the limits of, you know, the boundaries of the base or whatnot. So you can actually leave off the base. You can go out in town, go see a movie. You know, go get some food, hang out with friends, and do stuff like that on a normal weekend. But you have to be back Monday to do your training and finish all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then now, once you finish your MOS school, your job training, you go to where you will be placed to do your job. And that can be anywhere in the world, wherever they need you. And that's when the reins are completely gone. I mean, it's on you at that point. You know, they'll give you a place to stay. They'll give you food to eat. But everything else is on you. You got to find your way to work. you gotta, if you want those extra pleasures and necessities of life, it's on you to go do that. They paying you, they're housing you if you're single, and they're feeding you if you're single. But if you want all the extra pleasures and you want to go hang out every day of the week if you want to and still be to work in the next day, that's on you. It's all on you. It's all your choice at that point. So a lot of people have trouble coming out of that environment previous and adjusting to that. But once they get in the swing of things, some of it is to their detriment because they just don't know how to handle it. They'll be like, I'm free. I'm 19, 20 years old and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then they start getting in trouble.
Exactly.
Or getting people pregnant, which is
that happens all the time, dude. Like people just, as soon as you give them that freedom, as soon as they don't have mom and dad over them or some type of authoritative figure, man, they lose it. It just goes all out the window, dude. It's crazy. I've never understood that.
I mean, it all depends on how you were raised. If you had a parent or parents or guardian or whatever the fuck that had you under the thumb the whole time and didn't give you those freedoms, when you are on your own and have all the freedom you want, you're going to wild the fuck out. It's not just in a case of the military. It's not in the case of just college. It's just in general, once you out and left to your own devices, that's when shit goes south. Unless that person kind of gave you the rope to hang yourself and whatnot. And you saw early on that you can get in trouble for doing some crazy shit. A lot of people don't get that opportunity.
Yeah. See, I'm lucky. I got all my wilding out done in high school. So when I got out, I had it out of my system.
Well, shit, I didn't really get to wild out until I was like 21, 22.
That's some of the best time to do it, though.
But it was a different circumstance for me because remember in the abridged version, I knocked somebody up and I had 2 kids. So that was a whole different experience for me because like I didn't really get to. So what? I went to freaking Iraq. I turned 21 out there in Iraq. And then I came back and then I had some time to myself before I tried to get my kids to stay with me. And then, so I had a little bit of time there. I actually drunk when I was 21. I actually drank when I was supposed to, not before.
Wow. You're lame. No.
Yeah. I didn't go to a strip club until I was 21 or 22 or whatever. So, I mean, and then at that point, it was just pretty much, to say I did it. It wasn't nothing that really interests me. I mean, boobies and ass interest me, but for me to pay money to see those things, I wouldn't.
That's the part you're not interested about.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the internet? Like, that's a thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it was more or less, I just wanted to have the experience of saying that I've been to one.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. It is, man. I could tell you some crazy shit, though.
I bet.
Not even necessarily all of it involving me, just shit that I've seen other people do or heard other people do.
Oh, God, dude.
It's crazy, man.
I think that's one of my favorite things. I got a lot of, when I worked in security at my place, we got a lot of ex-military people. And I think that was one of my favorite things to do is just sit there and listen to them. And man, they love to talk too.
Oh, yeah.
But they would tell all kinds of stories. But the craziest part was when you would have 2 guys. One of them's telling a story about just someone higher up. And all of a sudden the other guy pipes in like, oh, you mean so? Like, and like they all of a sudden they connect on a whole new level because they knew the same guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's never like, oh, yeah, he was awesome. He was great. It's always like, he was a fucking asshole.
And what I find similar in podcasting and the life in the military or whatever is just those particular instances that you were talking about. Like in podcasting, I can do a show with somebody and that person could probably know somebody else of a podcast that I listen to, or this person because they podcast on this, shit like that. And it's the same thing in the military to where you go to so many different duty stations or whatever, and you work with so many people, and that person is bound to know a person that or daggone, for us in the Marine Corps, it's not too many places for us to go. So we wind up running into the same people anyway,
Yeah. And podcasting is a lot like that. It's a family, man. Like hell, the people that I've met, like you, Colt 45, Randy, Brandon, Liz, Walker, And I mean, all the people from Comic Palooza that I know, I mean, I wouldn't have met these people and had these relationships any other way. But podcasting's kind of brought me together with these people. Podcasting has opened these kind of doors where now I do know people cross country, different countries, all just through podcasting, which is kind of crazy and kind of awesome.
Yeah, podcasting has made me actually want to go take trips and shit. Shit, I went to New Jersey.
Like it makes you want to get out.
Yeah, I went to before all this madness, but I went to New Jersey in November for a comic book convention or whatnot that somebody that I knew through podcasting invited me to, and I was just like, well, I ain't never been to New Jersey, and then I went to New Jersey and found out that I actually knew people that I served with that lived in New Jersey, so I got to meet some of them people while I was out there. And the same thing when I went to New York, New Jersey for WrestleMania the previous year. Daggone, I went out there because of WrestleMania mainly, but I met podcasters that I knew that lived in the area and also former military members.
Man, see, so you got like the double whammy of knowing people, this military and podcast.
Because I was out there in New York for WrestleMania, and I was meeting with one of my former military friends. And then I get a call from another military friend saying that, hey, did you know this military friend lived there? I was like, I did not know that. I'm glad you called me and told me that. So I wound up meeting them, and we went throw axes.
You're like the social butterfly of the military.
I would have never thrown axes any other way. Because of my military ties and podcasting, I would have never thrown an axe without it.
Like you just wouldn't sit in your backyard holding an axe and be like, Yeah.
I mean, I could chop wood with this, but at the same time, I could just throw it at things.
Like, how much cooler would it be? Like, that's what, like, so I grew up country life, and like, I was throwing axes before it was cool, man. Like, me and my friends would grab little hatchets and just throw them because we thought that was fun, and we had no concept of death at that time.
I almost seen death firsthand when I went throw axes. So the silly ditzy female, she tossed the axe all wimbly bimbly, and that bitch bounced off the plank or whatever, and it came back at her, and I was like, oh.
Oh God.
That was some scary shit.
A sport's not a real sport unless there's, a chance of dying, right?
Yeah, you gotta have that adrenaline rush. And then you have people that bring the axe too far back, and it looked like when they throwing it forward, they're gonna clip themselves in the back of the head. That's scary too.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to throw axes anymore. You made it sound cool, but I think I'll just go to Topgolf. That's fine.
Yeah, that's another thing I couldn't do. I tried the golf thing, and it doesn't work in my favor.
Oh, it's not about being good. It's just about how hard you can hit it.
And drinks.
Yeah, how hard you can hit the drinks too.
Yes, and not fall off into the net.
Oh, that's what the net's there for. It's to fall in.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you don't want to do that on purpose.
Oh, you haven't lived until you've fallen in the net.
Yes, into the net. Much like the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yes. Into the web of drunken golf.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, hey, we'll wrap things up here. Just let everyone know a little bit about your show, where to find you.
Word. This your boy, B. Rob. I am the host of the Random Ramblings with Rob podcast. You can find me on social media platforms such as Twitter at 3RShow and Instagram at the 3RShow. I got a little bit of content on YouTube. Just search for 3RShow. And for anything that I may have missed, you can go to randomrob.com. You can find many different things about it there. And I talk to random people about random things. I cuss a lot and I do things.
Surprise, motherfucker.
See? Surprise. I do shit like that. And yeah, it's a good time. Come on over. I welcome you in with open arms from a distance because we can't be within 6 feet of each other.
Give you like shadow fives, from across the room.
Yes, exactly.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for filling in the guest spot this week and just chatting a little bit about your life, dude. A little extra that I didn't know, which is really awesome to learn about you. More respect to you.
For sure, man. I'm here for you, homeboy, whenever you need me.
Always, dude. That's why I make friends, because I need people.
Yay!
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. Gangster horns, man.
Hit you with the gangster horns.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday.
All right. Same to you, homeboy. Take it easy.